you're a light worker building generational wealth, this is going to be the most important video that you see all year. This might be the most important YouTube video that you've ever seen. Or if you're watching this back on my podcast, the most important podcast you've ever listened to. So that being said, you are someone who is here to build generational wealth. You are someone who is here to share your gifts and from that impact, build wealth that changes the world. But the reason right now that you're making money, but you're not absolutely exploding and thriving is because you have yet to discover soulmate clients. And if you know what they are, there's also just a chance that you're not quite messaging to them correctly. But so this video is going to break down everything about soul clients. This is a super channeled video, but I'm going to tell you what soulmate clients are, how to reach them, and how I lead lightworkers to their soulmate clients. And the clients that I've worked with have literally gone from being years in their business, in the Akashic, in their gifts, all the things, and going from barely ever having made around a 10K month to blasting into 30K months, blasting into 10K weeks, blasting into 10K days. So this work is incredibly impactful and incredibly life-changing. So let's get into it. First off, what are soulmate clients? Soulmate clients are clients that you have a soul contract to work with, which means that when you understand who those people are and how to reach them, the universe is conspiring to bring you guys together, just how they do with soul contracts and friendships and romantic partnerships and beyond. So this is a life force that when you tap into it in your business, it's almost like a sacred riptide that pulls you into your business thriving. So that being said, there are literally thousands of people that you have soul contracts to serve. And so the thing is, between all these people, this isn't just a bunch of happenstance people. These people have key components that when you access this energy, you will understand that there is a very specific person that you're talking to. And so that being said, it's almost as if you have, I almost look at it like a cloud. You have a cloud of people that when you start to access them and how to speak to them, how to message, market, all the things, and also where to show up to find them, whether it's in person, online, that is when your business will pop off. Because what happens is you say the thing that their soul needs to hear, their soul is activated, and there's synchronicities that bring them in. When I started tapping into this, I literally have had people say, the universe sent me, I came on their page in divine timing, and I very quickly went from making around $1,000 in my business a month, which that was over a year. I was making about $1,000 to more than replacing my corporate salary in the last half of 1 year. Talking over $80,000, close to $90,000. And so this was just within the first 1 to 2 years of my business. So this was, I had about a year making $1,000 a month, and then we blasted into 5K, 20K, and then even a 40K month. And since then it's been averaging around 20K. And so that being said, this was life-changing because I started having people come in that were literally telling me that the universe sent me. It was magic, insanity. And so this is the magic of soul clients, because the universe conspired for these clients to ping into my world. And because of the soul level trust that happens with soulmate clients, I had people jumping in before the masterclass even happened. I had people that joined my programs within literally days of meeting me, all because the soul level trust and showing up where I needed to show up in the right timing. So this is the magic of soulmate clients. It's literally the same way as a romantic soulmate. When you're in alignment, these people come in. So another key component of this is who you're being and who you're going into. So when you choose to start speaking to soul clients, a lot of times this is a really massive initiation. I have led dozens of clients through this at this point, and every single time limiting beliefs come up. They're not really sure. There's almost this energy of psychic attacks in a way, where it just feels as though everything is poking them. In tarot, it's like the devil card. It's the imposter syndrome comes up, because what happens is you're being asked to step up into your full potential. You are being asked to lead a path, and you're gonna usually be asked to lead a path of one that you feel a little insecure about, because it's the one that you have had a lot of challenges on. So for example, I have clients that work in relationships. And a lot of times when they first get that ping, there's so much judgment about what they've been through. And that's exactly why they're meant to lead it. And so who you're being when you step into this is huge. You're going to go through a massive initiation that turns you into the most radiant and free version of you that you couldn't even imagine. And then from there, there's initiations around money. There's initiations around who your soul client is in general. And from there, who you're being is what brings in the soul clients, because that is how money works also. So soul clients equals money, equals impact, equals service. And so when you're in alignment with who you're meant to be, these people ping in, and it doesn't need to make sense. Our logic brain gets in the way. I still go through moments of this all the time. The logic brain pops in. I surrender. Same thing with clients. When they surrender, the people come in. When you put an intention into the universe, it happens, because you are literally calibrated to that number of soul clients. And a lot of times it's incredibly divine. So that being said, who you're being and your metamorphosis is incredibly, incredibly important to this process, because that's the alignment that is going to spin the wheel of divine timing that brings the clients in. So that being said, if you're someone who feels called to build generational wealth, you're also going to be someone who feels called to sign clients and create programs and create magic that you get paid really well for. So if you're looking to call in a $10,000 client versus you've been maybe charging a few thousand, that's going to be an up level within you that brings them in through alignment. And the thing is, you have that desire because this is all co-creation. So gosh, I could go on so many tangents with this, but again, who you're being is incredibly, incredibly important for spinning this wheel of divine timing and bringing the people in. You have the desire because it's co-created. So just to summarize, we talked about soulmate clients, we talked about metamorphosis, and then we're going to talk about why this is so impactful to figure out who your soul client is and start speaking to them, because it positions you as a specialist in the online space. What happens is I see amazing, amazing light workers jump into the space. They feel called to build generational wealth, but they're generalists. In a hospital, who gets paid the most? The neurosurgeon, the spine surgeon. My grandpa was a spine surgeon. He made bank. Building generational wealth comes from services that are very, very tailored, which means that they are more highly valued. And in spiritual work, it means that they are even more impactful than the work of a generalist. So naturally, when you start to speak to soulmate clients, you position yourself as a specialist. This isn't rocket science, actually. This is actually something that when you shift this, it's a bit of work that's going to throw you into a absolute funnel of aligned downloads and whatnot. It throws you into this amazing funnel of soul clients. So this little bit of work is what's going to carry you to make money with a lot less work, a lot less time, way more time for being able to enjoy your mornings, your evenings, and not feeling like you're in survival trying to fill your services. Because you're a specialist, over time, your value is just going to continue to increase because you are creating something that is only available through you. With almost every single client that I've worked with, there is no one like them in the online space. There are plenty of people doing relationships, doing health-related stuff, doing money, but no one is positioned the same way as them. And that's the magic of soul clients, because there's a specific population you're meant to speak to and a specific outcome that you're meant to lead them to. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, of course, I'm here leading a soulmate client path, but I'm going to tell you how I dropped in and how now I am here to teach you how to do this yourself. By the way, in the caption, I'm going to put the specialist workshop where you can literally learn how to tap in with your soulmate audience and message them now. It's literally a workshop that's on demand. You can get the videos instantly. It's lifetime. It's $37. It is life-changing. I've had dozens of people do this workshop, and it's also going to be in my upcoming program called Take Flight. And so this is going to be a training within the program. And so that being said, I initially started my business doing intuitive readings. And for months and months and months, it was over a year, about a year, I was making $1,000 a month no matter what I did. I was trying to sell readings for only so much and trying to make thousands of dollars that way. But that meant that I had to be on all the time. I had to really get in a flow where my readings were getting booked. And in fact, just a little flash forward, I sold more readings once I became a specialist than when I was a generalist. The thing is also, this work fills me up so much more than when I was just sharing my gifts with whoever. And so that being said, I also tried to sell coaching packages. I did somatic coaching and all this stuff. And I would have people say they're super interested and then they would run away. I literally was having door slammed in my face after door slammed in my face. And it didn't make sense to me because I knew that what I was selling was amazing. So what happened was, over the span of this period of time, I realized that I was having pings around soulmate clients. When I would do my readings, I would have certain clients that I was just chatting with one of them before this call or before this video who would show up, and we would do readings, and it was magic. There was just this divine connection. My readings felt more powerful and they felt like soulmates. I remember thinking, ooh, this is a really good client. This feels amazing. And so what I realized over time is that these clients that I was having ping in, the ones that wanted to keep working with me, were all light workers who were feeling called to their gifts. And so I was ignoring this for a while. I was avoiding. It felt big, working with money. It didn't fully make sense to me until I surrendered into meditation. There was a period of time where I was getting to a point where, I paid for a $12,000 trip to Egypt. I was feeling pinged to all these huge investments. And I needed to really start getting things going in my business if I was going to make this all happen. And so I had a wall where I surrendered into meditation and realized through this meditation that I was being called to soulmate clients. I luckily had some amazing mentors during the time who were able to kind of validate this and really started to ping this in. So that being said, this pinged in. I essentially had this meditation where I could just feel that I was supposed to help people with money. At that point in time, I'd made about $10,000 in my business, which at that time was also $10,000 I never thought that I could make through my gifts. So that money was incredible, but my brain immediately went to judging. How am I supposed to be someone who leads in money when I've made $10,000? That feels wild to me. It felt unsettling. And so, long story short, over time, initially I was helping women with wealth. Nothing was really happening again. And then finally it started to drop in that I was meant to work with healers was the first term. But the minute that I got the word light worker, and then I got really clear that I was here to help light workers build their businesses, people started to ping in. Specifically, I was helping a population who were in their corporate jobs and looking to make the leap. So it was very specific on who I was speaking to. And because of this, I had people ping in like that. The codes I had were different than anyone else in the online space. There was no one like me in the online space. And because I was speaking specifically to that, I sold out my group program that I'd been trying to sell for months and months. Boom, overnight. And so from there, income exploded. And long story short, I've now become a specialist who is highly in demand, highly paid, all because I provide a deep level and very nuanced service that you cannot find anywhere else. I'm the only one that I have seen talk about soulmate clients in this way. And that is the reason it's so divine. When you tap in with your soul audience, you are going to be able to tailor your services in a way that you can't even imagine right now, and is also magic in the online space. And so if you're feeling the call to start speaking to soulmate clients, there is a workshop below that you are going to want to get. It's crazy life-changing. And when you click on the link, it's a $37 workshop that is going to teach you about soulmate clients, how to message to them so that you can fill out your services now and not later. It's time to build generational wealth and actually make it happen. That's the thing in the Metamorphosis community. We actualize things. We have big visions, but it happens. So I can't wait to see what clarity comes from this. And either way, I know that soulmate clients are summoning you for a reason. It was so lovely seeing you on my page.